you'll notice that there is no one in my parking lot where I normally paddle. And that's because it is 45 degrees. This is winter paddling. Winter paddling is incredibly important. It teaches you sort of how to deal with the environment, deal with the elements. Anyone can go paddling in the summer when the weather is beautiful and the water is warm. Right now, I'm guessing that the water is around 60 degrees, 55 degrees. It's relatively warm today. I think it's going to sneak up to around 50 by the time we're off the water, but it's been in the low 30s the past 3 nights, so I am sure the water temperature is cold, which means we're definitely wearing a dry suit today. The next thing I absolutely have to repair is the rudder mechanism that raises and lowers it. The bungee in there is all stretched out, and I have the kit to replace it. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. I also need to replace my deck compass, which has been missing for quite a while, and the little hook that holds the rudder in place. All things I need to start working on. If you want to get good at paddling, you need to paddle all year long. Taking that break of 3 months or 4 months or 6 months in some places, or longer, I suppose, it's just a huge drop in the amount of time you have to work on your skills. And then in the beginning, when you start up again in the beginning of the next season, you've lost a bunch and you need to sort of rebuild and start over. So it's super important to paddle all year long. Another good tip is, this is a new gasket on this dry suit, is stretch it out on something. I would have rather done it on one jar that was bigger, but I didn't have anything, so I'm using this Fair Share mug. And this will help stretch it out so that it doesn't choke you, and then it'll be super comfy. Neck gasket's still a little tight. Booties. So the other thing is, when I checked the weather this morning, there was no wind. Now it's blowing at 12, gusting to 15 or 17, something like that. That's about what it feels like. So really just going to be a skills day. Get on the water, work on skills with Johnny. Johnny's paddling with me today, and just sort of keep the skills sharp. And you get used to, again, paddling in cold water and cold wind. Dry suits keep you dry. They don't keep you warm. When it's windy, I always try and make that transition quickly. The surf zone is where bad things happen. Even on a lake like this, it's enough wind that it could cause some trouble. So make that transition quickly. You can see how quickly I'm blowing sideways. So skirt on, get paddling. So paddling straight into the wind, getting a feel for the boat. I haven't paddled in about 25 days. So getting a feel for the boat, paddling straight into the wind so that when we're done, the wind is pushing us back. And we got whitecaps building on this little lake. Doing, Johnny?
Once in the boat, I felt the best that I felt
forever. It's just gonna be a short one. Let's go down, do our around the island, maybe hop into the cove on the way back. Just get a feel. We haven't paddled. I haven't paddled in a dry suit in a year. A year? Less than a year. But just get comfortable. It's been at least the same amount of time or longer that you've paddled, probably longer that you've paddled. Really nice paddling conditions today. like that simplicity of just having a few, like I go from shorts to winter tights and a jacket to dry suit. I'm not smart enough to handle the nuance of having like 5 options. Go on the left side of that line. Pop in here and take 5, drink a little water, and sing a little song.
Do a little dance.
Do a little dance. Just basically get down tonight.
Get down tonight. Get down tonight.
Today, as a follow-up for the video 2 weeks ago, I'm wearing my dry suit. Underneath that, I'm still wearing light face layers because it is still pretty warm. Air temperatures in the now probably low 50s, and I'm just right. The water is cold, and dry suits don't keep you warm; they keep you dry. Though they do trap a fair amount of heat once you start paddling, but that's what I'm wearing. We paddled into it all the way here. We should get a nice push all the way home. And so with the thought of just working on skills, I've got these little buoys on this lake that I use with students. I'm just going to do a little circle around them. Would have been easier with a little bit more speed, but still, it's about a boat length. So the wind is back now. Right over here. Watch what happens when I stop paddling. What's the boat want to do as we lose speed? Oh, and it's turning into the wind, which is nice. Quickly into the wind. Past the wind. Wind coming in, it's going to grab something, usually the nose, and without pressure on the hull, it's going to start to push the boat sideways. I'm going to fight that and do one more little lap around my buoy, and then we're going to call it a day. We'll see how much wind and current there is when I get around this buoy. Big sweep turn, fighting the wind. Not reverse sweep. Let's do this guy. There we go. Now paddling across wind back to the beach. Johnny is ahead of me. Crosswind. Okay, so if you want to get good at this, what do you have to do? You have to go paddling. You have to go paddling when the weather's bad, when it's windy, when it's cold, when you don't feel like paddling. You need to work on skills. You need to make sure your forward stroke is solid, your turning strokes are good, your bracing strokes are good. You need to do all those things a lot of the time to get good at this. It's not that hard, and it's a lot of fun. That's what you got to do. You also got to get your door locked out when you start recording. Okay, I'll see you outside.